Divine greetings, masters. Thank you so much for joining. Very warm welcome to Light and Soul Meditation English group. This is Madhu VSoni, welcoming you all to this wonderful group of Light and Soul. And the book that we are reviewing or we are doing the Swadhyaya on is Your Soul's Plan. Very near to our heart, right? Because of Light and Soul. So anyhow, masters, as you know that we have been doing the Swadhyaya of Your Soul's Plan. This book has been written by Robert Schwartz, who's the author, and it's basically your life review, basically the plan that you have created for yourself before you were born. So basically, I'm discovering the real meaning behind your soul's plan. So we were today going to do Swadhyaya on your soul's plan, page number 98 to 107. Earlier, I think last time, Nirja ji had finished that Swadhyaya uh, from page number 87 to 97, I think. Yeah, 88 to 97. So we were reading about Penelope's story. Okay. 1 second, Master. Yeah, Masters, please try to mute yourself. And if you are here, we are concentrating on your Soul's Plan book review. So if you are ready to hear me out, so the story is a very wonderful story of Penelope. Penelope is a girl, African American girl, and in this lifetime, she is seven. Like she is right now at the age of 24, and basically much more, I would say. Um, she had planned her journey, and basically she planned to come as a deaf, and she also chose the ethnicity, the background. She was like, she's African American in this lifetime, and she shows many things. Basically, as a light worker also she is behaving. So I will just go back, give you a small review on her life story. That Penelope was 7. So she found herself that she's deaf as an individual. And then later on, she found that, as she progressed into her age, she becomes 24 years old, and then she's engaged to a person where she's going to get married to that person. She is a teacher and who teaches American Sign Language and to English and deaf students and adults as well. And also, some people are not American also in that, but she teaches them as well. So she is basically a light worker as her purpose, an individual who selects specific life challenges to stimulate both her own growth and that of many people. So as a light worker, she's trying to help those people who are, physically handicapped. Basically, they have difficulty hearing and difficulties, seeing. Now the thing is, as a child, Penelope is plagued by nightmares. So why all those nightmares are there? So she many times had awoken screaming, and she has seen a lot of challenges in her elementary school, then middle school, then high school. So she attended a deaf school until 9, and then later on she went into a middle school where she had been into a new school where she needed interpreter, basically a new sign language teacher who can interpret whatever she says or actions. So Penelope commented that made the author wonder why she chose before birth to be a female and African American, and being a deaf as well, as in addition to this, everything. She also says that during high school it was a difficult time, a difficult life challenge where she had basically, seeing that she really wanted to have a normal life like a girl who would go for dates and who would have boyfriends, but people were very difficult with her and it was not a good experience. But her favorite experience that she mentions was that Penelope wanted to pronounce her name after saying hello, that my name is Penelope, but she would say as if the P is silent there, so it was, she always used to say Benelope. So wherever the P was, it was the sound, it sounded like B. And uh, one time a lady asked that why she's behaving like that, so as if she has cold. And that really hurts her because people do think very much like in a different way. when people have deaf and hearing issues. So many people who have this handicap, they feel that, sometimes people, when they speak slower than normal, uh, basically some people, not sorry, I mean to say, when people do speak slower and slower than normal, basically these people who have difficulty in hearing and who are deaf, they don't appreciate that, because as if they are not normal, people do behave like that with them, and this is not appreciable by these people. So we will ask if we need a slower voice for so Penelope says that, if they need anything, they will definitely ask. We don't need to be, different with them. So that's what. And so this had made Penelope very empathetic. And so deafness has increased her sensitivity, which helped her bridge the gap between words of hearing and deaf. But any type of cultural boundaries also were bridged, basically. So there was this question by the author: how did you know that you were meant to understand and understand the neglected? So there was a line where she said that I am able to understand people who are, who have this handicap, but also people who were neglected and underestimated. So she said that it was in my heart. I have intuition. And these things actually helped her to come out of all those challenges. But now I'm going to start with page number 98, from I think 97. Yeah. So here, the last page I would like to read is that, um, okay, let me. Yeah, so there was this session where Penelope had session with Stacey Wells as well. So what happened was, in the previous lifetime, when Penelope, in her previous incarnation, so I would say Penelope 1, I would say like that, so that it is easy to understand. So Penelope 1, when she incarnated in that physical lifetime, she had a mother who had an abusive boyfriend, and that abusive boyfriend actually would be very verbally abusive and would hit her mother. And there was that time when it was not easy for, like, these things were going on in their life, family. So during that time, Penelope was outside with her neighbor, because there was a lot of screaming, shouting, argument going on in her house with the Penelope one's house. And in that time, in that lifetime, the mother was inside with her boyfriend, and they were having argument. A lot of fight happened. And during that time, his boyfriend, her mother's boyfriend, strangled her throat with telephone cord. And during that time, it was not easy. So she closed the door. She ran and she closed the door, mother. But he opened the door and he fired shots at mother, and she died there. So seeing all this, the boyfriend also went inside the bathroom, basically, and took his life. And so all this time, the Penelope one was outside with her neighbor, and she heard everything. She heard the shots and the firing, and even when the boyfriend also shot the gun for her, on his own self. So that time also Penelope heard that sound, and that made her basically very scared. And it was not a, see, for anyone, when we are hearing also, we don't feel good about it, right? So that was the past lifetime. So in this lifetime, basically what happened was that this had made Penelope very, scary, very fearful. And also what happened was, Stacy, who is the medium, who is working with Robert Schwartz, she is actually telling that in that lifetime, when basically the past lifetime experience was that, yeah. So what happened was that Stacy is a medium. So when Robert asked that, can you shed some light on what happened with Penelope and in her previous lifetime, Penelope 1? So then Stacy says that she had a dream a night before, where she saw about this, whatever I told you about how the gun was shot and all those things. So Stacy, the medium, she sees everything in that dream. So Penelope, her mother's life was also cut short. And during the next 10 years, that the following next 10 years, basically, Penelope one also missed her mother. And during that lifetime, her own lifetime was cut short, because later in that time, basically she would go through all those horrific sounds, whatever she heard, screams, shouts, and that made her very, unrelaxed. She was not comfortable, and she was basically, she had suffered a lot of horrible bouts of depression because of it, and it would always haunt her, that past. So what happened was that Penelope one took her life when she was only 30 years old. So during that time, she took her own life in that lifetime, and she ended because it was not difficult for her to carry on. So this is the dream that Stacy tells about Penelope one. So she says now, from page number 98, I'm going to start. It was very much influenced by your decision to be deaf in this lifetime. You did not want to re-experience the terror of those times. So question was, what I want to know now, from Stacy, I think she questions, what I want to know, Penelope, is how you are feeling as I have been telling you this. So Stacy is actually telling and telling everything about that dream. So during this time, what is happening to Penelope? Not the Penelope one. Penelope. Now, in the next incarnation, Penelope has been born and she has taken that incarnation. Now, Stacy is asking, what are you experiencing when I am telling you this dream? So, does this resonate with you? Not just intellectually, but emotionally and physically. So, she says, the dreams in the night, Penelope typed in response. So, it was all typed, like internet typing is going on. My mom said that I would always scream in my sleep. It would be a little joke. So I am deaf. She can't hear. Penelope can't hear. So if she screams also, she can't hear her voice, right? Poor anyone who would have to sleep next to me. So if she was screaming, it would be too much, like as if she screamed, screaming on top of her lungs. And I guess that's what's in my subconscious most nights. So she says that I don't recall my hands vibrating to this level before. So when she was going through this dream, when Stacy was mentioning, her hands were vibrating at a very faster rate, a much higher level. So this is what the physical sensation was. And it was so powerful that Penelope has to rub her hands to calm herself down. So, so now Stacy asks, do they normally vibrate? Ask Stacy. So the guide confirms that yes, you are still working through it in order to achieve total healing, working on it at the subconscious level, but level that has been the only way you can handle it so far. This is an example of how your physical body expresses your feelings and conflicts and how it gives you signs. So here there's another question with Penelope. So Penelope is saying, my fiancé would ask why I become very aggressive whenever I get upset. So Penelope says that because he wanted to know if I had some traumatic experience in this lifetime. And now I know I must break the cycle. Now she comes to know that Penelope has some traumatic experience in her past lifetime, and that's why she becomes upset, she becomes aggressive, and now she understands that she needs to break that cycle. So you become aggressive and physical because of what you saw in that lifetime, explained Stacy. It is still very much in your subconscious. So now Robert Schwartz asks Stacy to tell much more about Penelope. So she is told that, deafness enables her to come from a viewpoint of compassion toward people with all sorts of disabilities. It enables her to be compassionate with not only human beings but animals, and but she enjoys this, like to be compassionate towards anyone, to help them so that she can basically help them be compassionate and showers unconditional love on them. It's basically in all kind of ways giving guidance to all kinds. uh, it's about Penelope. I also intend to utilize my identifiers. So what are the identifiers she mentions? That her being deaf, her being female, and her being young, and her being with ethnic minority are as attention getters to best share information creatively by Penelope. Basically, Penelope shares this, that she is from different ethnicity. She is female, she is young, she is deaf, and basically she belongs to a ethnic minority. So these are some of the attention getters that actually places her, and basically she becomes the voice of all those people, basically a bridge, and she helps them with her creativity using her communication, her language. American sign, the hand sign language is what helps her to bridge that gap. So and so Stacy says ethnic minority, I can see that goes along with your choice to see things from a more compassionate angle. You experience yourself as being different in a lot of ways. So Penelope says yes. I never felt that I never felt like I belonged. So because she has chosen set of challenges where she had basically every time wherever she went, she had a different set of challenge, but basically she was deaf, she was young, she was female, African American with an ethnic minority, right? So wherever she went, as if she felt that she never belonged to any place, people would not give her that space to belong, right? So Penelope, how is this experience for you? I asked, wanting to make sure that she was comfortable with her session. So now she says to Stacy, I feel a sense of relief. I have had questions for as long as I can remember. As a human, I just receive affirmation. I also feel less alone. So now, after getting to know this, now she says that now I feel less alone. And Stacy asked Robert asked to Stacy that would it be possible for you to provide the conversation that took place in Penelope's pre-birth planning session when she chose deafness. So now I'm going to tell you about the pre-birth planning session where the pre-birth planning session is going on. So Stacy hears the conversation. She says that I'm seeing Penelope in a very large room. The walls are high and there are many images on the walls, basically from the past lives. So when we go into our past lives, we have our past life images there on that wall, high walls, and that spirit guides are also there with us, guiding us. And Penelope is sitting cross-legged there, and behind her is the spirit guide who is guiding her. So some of the souls, and everyone is interacting together for ways so that her whatever lifetime is going to come, they can help her. So some of the souls have been in her previous lifetimes, but they will remain on the other side while she incarnates. Her main spirit guide stands behind her, directing the proceedings, acknowledging everyone. So spirit guides speak. The conversation is going on. Spirit guide says, "We are gathered here to help Penelope decide on her life that is to be. Many of you may have helped Penelope before in other lifetimes and between lives. Penelope still burns from her experiences in her most recent life and seeks healing in that life that is to be. She asks each of you now to join your energy with hers as she decides what she is to be, what she will and will not experience, and now and how she may interact with all here in order to achieve her goals." So now what she sees is Stacy sees that everyone has joined hands and she sees energy pulsing through from one another until it reaches throughout the room like waves that penetrates everyone there. And yeah. So the first thing Penelope decides was her body color. Second, she decides that she will be basically when she decides the body color, that will be the part of the connection between herself and the soul, and who was is her mother and the connection with her mother. Um, so now, as soon as she decides, her soul takes the color. As soon as she decides, the soul is taking on the darker color, trying it on for size, like how you size yourself. As you basically put on new clothes, how you put on new dresses, what do? You take on that dress and you try it on. Same way, the soul actually takes on the darker color and basically adopting as her own. Now, with thought conversation between Penelope and her mother, agreements made for her mother to give birth to her and take care of her in ways she could not in previous lifetime. Penelope expresses to Soul, who is her mother, that she feels a great need to be cradled in mother's arms. So this was the agreement between mother and daughter, and because of the memories that she had witnessed in the previous lifetime, and so that all those things does not happen, and she needs that love, that care, and support. So that's why she wants to be cradled in this lifetime, and so basically her mother is there, but that man who shot her mother, uh, Penelope's one mother in the past lifetime, that man is also there. Now what happens is he stands behind, he stands there in that life, he stands up among the crowd, not behind, he stands among those crowd. But basically, she is not ready to go with that process. So she says that I don't want that person to be there. If that person is there, I won't be able to heal myself. So he goes back and he takes that, he chooses not to incarnate in this lifetime, because there was that karma that was created. Kishore ji is writing that he can't see me. Are you all able to see, masters? Yeah. Everyone else is able to see. Can you log in again and do that, Kishore ji? So, where was I? Yeah. So that man now who shot Penelope one's mother, he chooses not to incarnate and not to balance the karma also. Okay. And then, but then the memories of what she witnessed in the previous lifetime spring to her mind. And Penelope asks, please not to let that happen again. The man who shot her mother in that lifetime stands up among the crowd and agrees to not inhibit physical form while Penelope and her mother are in the physical body. Then he sits back down. So basically, Penelope and Spirit Guide are talking. So there are sounds that Penelope is not ready to hear. And she said that I don't want to hear them at all. So Spirit Guide says that, my dear, you know that they will continue to resonate in your, subconscious mind. You would be hearing them, but not in that way. It would be, basically, you will hear them in your subconscious mind at a deeper level, where it will be much easier for you. So Penelope says, yes, okay. And then as soon as she says yes, Spirit Guide says that, don't just say yes so quickly. Before you agree so readily, think on it first, that you will continue to be influenced by the atrocities you witness in that life, because you have told me it is your desire to complete your healing process. You will still feel them, but at a level you will be unable to define for quite some time. So Penelope says, yes, that is what I want and what I wish to do. Her energy changes somewhat as she gets more serious. So now the excitement of being born and, a new incarnation, basically a little bit subsides down. And now she understands that she has to work on that. And she agrees and moves on to the next step in the planning process. Uh, so basically, Penelope says that I want to give people something, basically she wants to help people. So she wants to give other people in some capacity. So I want to expand my ability to be compassionate in my last life. Uh, Her ability to express compassion ended when her mother died. So I want to care compassionately for many people. The Spirit Guide says you will have the opportunity to use your own experience in that life that is to come, to turn your self-knowledge outward and give to others in a kind, compassionate, and caring manner, to teach others well. So now here she chose to go on for basically this volunteering experience, where her Penelope, where her neighbor who saved her basically from all those issues during her mother's death. So that time, neighbor who aided Penelope in the past life, she chose to become a handicapped person in this life. She will work as a basically as a volunteer. So sometime after the age of 30. So after the age of 30, she will come into her life. And Penelope now says she wants to do this to give back what was given to her. So the support, the love, and really, you can't see me, guys? Can you see me now? Okay, let me. Some people can see. I don't know why. Do the spotlight for yourself. Pin the picture for yourself, masters. You will be able to see. It is on my spotlight. Okay. Okay. So there is some, now they are also talking about, the neighbor soul now takes the form of a physical disabled person, and she chooses her, that personality, so that when the time comes, they will be able to see. So now everyone who is in that incarnation, who is going to incarnate with Penelope, now they start. Oh my God, I don't know what's happening. Deepak ji is saying that picture is frozen. So let me go back again. Okay. Now, is that okay for everyone? I'm not sure why this is happening. Okay. I can't sign out and sign in. Okay. So just letting you all know. Or otherwise, uh, okay. Okay, masters, let me make someone host for this while. Rani ji, are you on laptop? Someone who is on laptop? Okay, audio is good. Anybody, just show me your thumbs up so that I know somebody's on laptop. Is someone on laptop? Okay, phone. Let me make Sanjay ji, I'll make you co-host and then maybe okay, I made you host now. Let me sign out and get back in. Okay. Are you guys able to watch me now? Can everyone see me? I can't log out because the recording is still going on. Otherwise, I have to break the recording. Okay? No. Oh my God. Yes, Sanjay ji, please unmute yourself.
Madhu ji, voice is clear. Maybe you can go ahead and in interest of time, so we can hear you clearly.
Okay. So I'll just make someone co-host and then let's see. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, we should continue. So I'll do the gallery, maybe that will help everyone for this while. Okay, so now where we were. Yeah, we were where the neighbor is actually taking the role of that physical disability, and she starts with her that incarnation. So the bodies, everyone who is in that group, soul group, now they are taking the that all those incarnations, so color, size, shape, the body features, everything, so that when they incarnate in the new body, basically everyone is able to recognize each other and they can work basically as if they know each other, right? So this is what is going on. So now with Stacy's psychic vision in the pre-birth planning, what you know yeah, so Penelope's motivation for choosing deafness was her plan was filled with meaning, purpose, and wisdom. So with Stacy's psychic vision, everyone comes to know that it was basically deafness was kind of motivating for Penelope, and her plan was filled with meaning, purpose, and wisdom. And in her study of pre-birth planning, um, Robert Schwartz learned that the personality has free will and may adhere to or deviate from the plans of the soul. So, regarding the man who murdered Penelope's mother in the last life, Robert asked Stacy, was the murder a free will decision made by his personality, or was the murder planned to that incarnation? So basically, Stacy, when she goes into that psychic vision, she sees that the man's soul has not chosen this free will. He was basically into that self-loathing and rage, anger, and basically feeling worthless for herself, and that made her and to how to get out of that, basically how to achieve self-worth. So Penelope's mother said during that planning session she had been working on relationships for many lifetimes and would welcome the opportunity to work on these issues again with him. On a soul level, she freely gave of herself in the spirit of unconditional love. So the murder was not foreseen or planned. It wasn't planned. The murder was not planned. So it was indeed a free will decision made at that time. And Penelope's mother basically does not harbor any ill will or anything against that particular soul. They had totally forgotten, but the karma that was created. So during that time, the man who chose, to murder Penelope's once mother, the karma was created there, but he chose. to not to incarnate this time to help Penelope. So at the soul level, basically, they don't have, nobody harbors any ill feeling. And he says, okay, for further growth for Penelope, I chose not to incarnate. I can so there is no just like how we say, like how we do courier, expedite courier, right? Fast courier. Same way, there is no like you don't need to cover that balancing of karmas in a very fast way. You don't need to expedite that because you can choose to incarnate some other time with your own soul group. So during this time, mother chose to incarnate Penelope's mother chose to incarnate at this time because she might be having her own soul group where people from her own or in souls from her own soul group were incarnating at this time. So Penelope's mother also chose this time to take birth. And so now there's another question basically. Stacy said, please ask your guide. So Robert says that Stacy, please ask your guide what other aspects of Penelope's story are important to bring out, either for readers in general or specifically for deaf readers trying to understand the purpose of deafness. So Stacy had been paraphrasing the words of her spirit guide. She now typed them directly. So first, it was basically the aspects from Penelope's life is first is one's inner experience is just as real, if not more so, than the outer world. Two, deafness enables some people to focus on their goals in a better way. Third, deafness is not handicap, it is an opportunity. It provides a subtle shift in focus that is necessary for personal and spiritual growth. Fourth, deafness is no one's fault, it's a choice. Like every choice, it provides the opportunity to experience life in exactly the way it is needed, that is needed for one's purpose. And sometimes there is a need to balance that which has been done by the soul. There have been souls who have cut off the ears or limbs of others, who feel the need to punish themselves by incarnating and experiencing deafness, the loss of use of a limb or disfiguring abilities. Other times, there is a need for the soul to experience inner harmony. When the soul is sensitive to the extent that Penelope's is, outer forces, sounds, and energy can present challenges to achieving inner harmony. In Penelope's case, it was her soul's desire to exclude any sound that would remind her of the atrocities experienced in the earlier incarnation. So now here, the author says that remember that to let go of fear is one of the greatest challenges you experience as humans. So this is our greatest challenge. So people who are fearful or who feel that they are fearful, this is your greatest challenge, that you have to come out of that. This is your challenge. That is why you have incarnated, to get out of that fear. So understand that, Penelope is still working on this challenge, and this is for her is the greatest challenge. In regard to your comment about souls wanting to punish themselves, Robert asked, isn't it really more of a desire to develop empathy? So Stacy says empathy, the spirit guides, I think. Empathy is the greater goal. That is true. But if a soul does not forgive itself, it is stuck. So just imagine when we feel worthless, when we are in that anger state, and we feel guilty and we haven't forgiven ourselves. What happens to us? We feel stuck. We are stuck. So when the spirit guides, when we see that, we often see souls choose to punish themselves for what they did. In the end, you judge yourself. Oftentimes, so now what do we do as human beings? We judge ourselves and we say that, okay, this is the punishment that we take. But oftentimes, when you cross over, when you die with the strong resonance of negative emotions that had caused you not to see these things completely clearly, you see through what you might call fear-colored glasses. Like how you have those glasses which have heart-shaped on and you see through like love-colored glasses, or you say that you see through the eyes of love. Same way you see through the eyes of colored glasses or guilt colored glasses. You do not feel compassion for yourself at that point. So basically, one another purpose that comes to mind is that you have to be compassionate to your own self. So he asked that if fear had played a role in Penelope's planning for this lifetime. So fear is a carryover in this instance. Penelope died experiencing a state of fear, so the soul was not able to progress beyond that. She knew that she needed to let go of fear. she still carries unresolved fear from the previous life. So these were some of the questions, burning questions that, Robert Schwartz wanted to know, and then Stacy, with the help of Spirit Guide, answers everything. So now, you are most welcome, he replied. You are helping me to fulfill my dharma. So now, Stacy and the Spirit Guide, basically, I think both of them, in that, it's his dharma to educate people, or it's her dharma to educate people. When she's as a medium, she's working. I believe that is what she's saying. I think that is what uh, that is happening. So now there are life lessons that are mentioned often by Spirit that we take on. First lesson is the first lesson is compassion, second is empathy, third is unconditional love for self and others. So not only for us, but for others also, we have to understand this unconditional love. We have to give and share. So compassion is basically, in many sessions with the mediums, compassion was one of the life lessons mentioned most often by Spirit, along with empathy and unconditional love. As eternal souls, we seek to know ourselves as compassion. This self-knowing, which is really the feeling of compassion, as both gift given and gift received, comes to us and is deepened by its very expression on the physical plane. Society views deafness as imperfection. Uh, to be viewed as imperfect by others is to be granted the opportunity to feel compassion for all those deemed by the society as less than. Contrast of this sort does not exist in non-physical realm, where everyone is equal and the iridescent beauty of every soul is self-evident and unquestionable. Basically, on the non-physical realm, the Spirit is saying that everyone is equal, everyone is similar, nobody is more, nobody is less, and there is no question. Every soul is basically, it has an iridescent um, colors coming out. So I believe, Rani ji, when today we were talking about that, those are the colors: love and confidence, pink and yellow color. You got your answer now. Okay. So beauty of every soul is self-evident and unquestionable. No soul is less than. The very concept is senseless. So when you question this concept, that is there any soul that is greater or other or lesser, basically that is unquestionable, and no soul is less than. This concept is very senseless. In the physical realm, this hollow, meaningless notion is temporarily invested with an illusory meaning, one that allows us to understand and experience compassion in a way otherwise impossible. So Penelope planned the experience of deafness in part to know compassion. She feels a great deal of compassion not only for the deaf, but for all who are okay. So let me. Everything is normal now, Deepak ji says. So let me try. So that is what. So now what happens is, Penelope planned this experience of deafness in part to know compassion. She feels a great deal of compassion not only for the deaf, but for all who are neglected in any way. She seeks to strengthen connections between the worlds of the hearing and the deaf, between opposing groups, between clashing cultures. So basically, Penelope is acting as a bridge between the people who can't hear, who are deaf. She's also acting as a bridge between the neglected, and she seeks to strengthen connections between the worlds of the hearing and the deaf, opposing groups, clashing cultures, where she's also from the ethnic minority. So there also she's also bridging. And for groups, uh, basically the light and dark aspects also, her compassion born in a place of silence speaks loudly to the world as she forges those bridges. So now, basically, it's not a coincidence that Penelope chose to be a female, African American, and also deaf at the same time. And she's also elected to be a member of two groups who are often treated with a lack of compassion, where whenever she's treated without compassion, regardless of the reason, her appreciation of and desire for compassion are strengthened. Women, ethnic minorities, and persons who are deaf or hearing impaired historically have been deprived of power. And so, as the author listens to Penelope speak, so she says that I was struck by the disparity between the considerable power she feels to affect change in the world and the relative lack of power of the groups to which she belongs. By immersing herself in circumstances in which she lacks external power, she created an impetus. Basically, she created a force or an energy to develop internal power. Basically, whenever somebody pushes you down, what happens? We try to resist that thing, and basically not resist, basically we try to come out of that, that don't push me down or don't do this, right? There's another energy that we somehow get, that adrenaline rush or some kind of energy. We actually, with force, we say no, right? Like that feeling. So that also Penelope is feeling. Penelope designed a life of learning through opposites, a common plan on the earth plane and a path of profound spiritual growth. If she had not chosen circumstances in which she would experience a lack of compassion, she would likely have less opportunity and motivation to cultivate the compassion she now offers to others. If she had not chosen circumstances in which she lacked overt power, basically in which she is actively and consciously basically using this power to wield that force, that energy, she might never know just how powerfully she can affect the world. So there are many things that has been written about the pre-birth planning session. It is very difficult to express compassion in the physical, where the ego creates a sense of separation from others and fear sometimes gets the better of us. So such is not the case when we are in the non-physical form. Basically, in the non-physical form, we are all compassionate and loving, and we actually are very loving. We give unconditional love to each other, and we understand there's no ego there. Penelope's pre-birth planning session, for example, compassion is expressed toward the soul who murdered Penelope's mother in a previous life. There is no anger, hatred, vengefulness. Instead, we see forgiveness and understanding. Notice, too, the compassion and absence of judgment in regard to Penelope's suicide in her previous life. At no point is she criticized or condemned. She does not need to complete the learning plan for that incarnation, but those present feel only compassion in regard to the difficulties that led her to end her life. So, as souls, we do not judge one another. The only judgment in the realm of spirit is the self-judgment that may arise during the life review. So, during the life review, it is that time when the spirit guides helps us. They help us review our lives, and occasionally they will put those moments out in front of us, but with greater compassion. They will tell us where we need to correct ourselves, what we have done, but they are not judging us. They will just be telling us in a very loving and non-judgmental way. So one only we are in body seemingly so when we are in the body, we try to judge each other, we try to judge our own selves also, because we are in that perceived state of separation. And that is why, so to release judgment and to love with indiscriminate compassion is to remember who we really are. So being like understanding that we are compassionate human beings, we are compassionate souls with unconditional love and showing empathy towards others. So with Penelope's pre-birth planning, so too is the desire to be of service. As souls, we are motivated by love to help one another evolve. Penelope's planning session is rich with examples of souls who wish to serve in this way. Penelope designed a life in which she serves humanity, focusing principally on the deaf community. Penelope's mother wanted to be of service to her by providing the love, physical attention that was cut short in the prior life. So here the neighbor also sought help to serve Penelope by giving her that opportunity to express her compassion by basically volunteering to be a physically handicapped human being, where Penelope can return that love or that support, that compassion, and so that she can balance the karmas, right? So at soul level, her desire to be of service to, one second. Yeah, when Penelope's mother, now they're talking about Penelope's mother. So during that time, Penelope's mother also chose to design that life. She knew that soul who would become her romantic partner might act violently. So, but she also gave that opportunity to that being, so to develop feelings of self-worth while in that body. At soul level, her desire to be of service to him was in no way diminished by his history of incarnations in which he had expressed rage. These two souls will in all likelihood plan another incarnation together, a lifetime in which will be further opportunity for him to choose love over anger. My goodness, this is such profound thing that, every time a soul who chooses, maybe a particular soul has done something bad, but now every other incarnation, another soul is actually giving you that help. that compassion, showing compassion towards you, showing empathy, so that you can come out of that self-loathing experience. Basically, not to be worthless, but understanding that everyone needs love and compassion. So it is that unconditional love that can help anyone to get out of that worthlessness, that feeling of worthlessness. And that is what we have to do, masters, for each and everyone. So anyhow, we love the souls with whom we plan our lives. During our earthly existence, there may be people who complicate matters, cause us stress or worry, or even become our enemies. When not incarnate, the estranged husband and wife, the abusive parent and neglected child, and the warring ex-business partners are loving friends. They care deeply for one another and will often reincarnate together in an effort to master lessons unfinished in previous lives. So now, basically, here again in the last pages, masters, those who love us are always with us, always, whether or not they incarnate alongside us. The bonds of heart are eternal. So the neighbor in the previous life has played an important role in Penelope's current lifetime, and so soul plan lives. So where sorry, Penelope to express compassion, so that Penelope can express her compassion towards that loving neighbor. And to accept love and compassion is just as important as learning to express them. So when you give, also you need to learn to accept also. Soul plan lives that, sorry, souls plan lives that incorporate physical accidents, illnesses, and physical and mental handicaps. For example, a handicap that confines one to a wheelchair, to create circumstances in which they literally cannot run away from someone who is expressing love. Just understand this line, that many a times, many people you might have seen that they are on wheelchairs. So it is so deep and profound that just to understand that there are people sometimes when we are loving someone, or when we are ready to give love someone, that person does not turn up because they want to run away. For them, it is not easy to accept that. Now, in that another lifetime, what are they choosing? They choose to remain in wheelchair so that they can accept that love. So people, they don't like people who are on wheelchair. They feel that they don't like all those things. It's so hard to digest, like, but that is the plan. So they cannot run away. That's why they chose to be in that wheelchair, who is, so that they cannot run away from someone who is expressing love. So in past lives, these souls may have difficulty accepting caring and tenderness from others. So they plan subsequent lives in which they almost require themselves to learn this lesson. And also souls also chose challenges to overcome fear. As Stacy's spirit guide indicated, Penelope wanted to overcome that fear that remains from a previous lifetime. In this incarnation, that fear is carried at a largely subconscious level, and her healing is taking place at that level. When we design our lives, we seek healing of many kinds, including the healing of negative emotions like fear. So basically, now during Robert Schwartz's research, he also mentions that I came across a young man who was in meditation and he contacted his future self. So his future self, who took that incarnation, he says that the in the future they refer this time as the fear ages. Why? Because this is the fear is predominant emotion in our lifetime, in this lifetime, and many people have chosen fear to uh, you know, basically they want to take this as a challenge to come out of fear carried forward from hundreds of prior incarnation. Unhealed fear is deeply embedded in individual and collective consciousness. To heal fear, we need to experience it. So heal fear, we need to experience it and do not resist it. So when we resist, basically, what happens is resistance makes that emotion stronger, and um, now it becomes difficult to uh, get out of that. It requires major healing. It also, there is another thing that needs healing, that is false belief. False belief is also one of the thing that is very difficult to be healed, but we have chosen this time to incarnate so that we can come out of our fears. So just imagine why we have incarnate, all of us. These are the fears. There must be some kind of fear that is associated with all of us. So like fear and other negative emotions, false beliefs also require healing. For example, the soul who murdered Penelope's mother creates a belief while in the body that self-loathing is merited or that he is rage, he is violent. Then that soul will design future incarnations to learn otherwise. Less than is no more accurate a label when applied to self than when it is applied to others. Subsequent lifetimes will use learning through opposite plans in which the people incarnating with this soul will mirror his lack of self-worth. So that was the end of the this Swadhyaya Masters from the page number 98 to 107. Thank you so much. If anyone has any questions or they want to share anything, you can, and then we can go into meditation masters. So I hope you all had anyone wishes to. Yes, Rani ji.
Madhuri, wow, so many points, huh? You had a question in mind.
Yes.
The best one was the wheelchair experience.
Yes, and
No, I mean, I would have never imagined or, even believed it if anybody said that to me. But now that
and
I'm reading, I'm going to think more about it.
yes, yes. And the fear part. This is the fear of
Yeah,
ages. This is the fear of fear ages this is mentioned as fear ages because every one of us has some kind or the other, any kind of fear is there with all of us. So we have to come out of those challenges. So when we resist these, basically we become stuck. We cannot come out. So we have to heal ourselves. We have to now there is one main point that I missed, sorry, speaking while speaking, because
yeah,
there was this point where how to get out of that fear. The best way to get out of that fear is to face that fear. Then only you will come out.
yeah. I think he mentioned it in the first chapter also,
Is
which
it?
I was reading.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
best thing to come out of that fear is to face it. Where Sam, what was the name? Jim or Sam, the person who had the choice of
John.
either
John, I think, right? John.
John, yeah, to go back to his life or not because he was not accepted.
Yeah.
So he said
So
the best way to face your fear, I mean, deal with your fear is to face it. So that's a very good thing. Um, my question was, I think I missed it. What happened to that person who killed her mother in the previous life? Why he did not choose to take birth next life?
because the healing of Penelope won't happen easily then, because that person, if he is in that lifetime incarnated in this lifetime with Penelope, some way or the other
Yeah,
he has to incarnate. And for Penelope, she would know that, if that person is there with her mother or somewhere in her soul group, she would be very
yeah,
fearful, she would be always be scared, and she won't be able to heal. So then the all those things that she planned, that she wants to show compassion, she wants to volunteer, she wants to give service to other people or any other community, and she want to behave as a bridge to for so many things, right? Ethnicity, ethnic minority, for female people, for deaf and hearing people. So all those things, she wanted to be a bridge, and she want to volunteer. She want to do something good for the community as a light work, because she is also a light worker also. But she won't be able to do if she is in that fear stage. Subconscious level, at that level, deep level, she is healing. But if that person is there, because Penelope says during the pre-birth planning session, when the souls were choosing who are going to incarnate, she says that if that person is there, because those things had made a profound impact on her brain, on her subconscious level, hearing also. That's why
mm,
she chose not to be a person who can hear. She chose to be deaf. So she said that I don't want that person to incarnate. If that person will be there, she does not
yeah.
she does not want them for
So
him to
she doesn't want
incarnate.
any kind of distraction in
Distraction.
this
So
life.
then that soul, what he does, he goes back and sits behind. Basically, it was on that soul level happening, everything on soul level. And so
Mm,
there was no anger, no guilt, no rage, but it's just that soul was shaken up. Penelope's soul was shaken up, and she did not want to take on more challenges. Like she
right.
has lot many challenges already, but not that one where she couldn't work. So, and as neighbor also gave her that moral support, that not only moral but that loving kind support, she wanted to
Mm,
give her that back. So balancing that karma. So that soul, the neighbor soul, now chooses to incarnate as a physically handicapped person. So with disability. So whenever Penelope will volunteer, she would, after age 30, she can help that person. But
Okay. Okay. No, but again, you may have covered this point, but I just wanted to understand now that when at that level, she understood what she went through in her previous life. So I forgot my question.
I think, yeah. No, I will tell you. I think you are there. Why the person who killed her mother did not,
Yeah.
like, why didn't he incarnate? Basically, his soul is regressing, right? That's what you think. But that time,
Yes.
at soul level, they are on that different tangent altogether. They don't have this, that, okay, one, like, I can stop at this time. I don't need to, incarnate and go through that karma. I don't need to expedite that karma balancing. This can wait. This can wait.
Okay, so maybe I'm trying to understand at this level. So at soul level, it's a different equation altogether.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's no
I got it.
judgment. There's no judgment, no anger, no ill will, nothing
Yeah.
towards anyone. It's just, if a soul wants, okay, for you, I can, or for another soul, they can stop their own progress. You can. That's what. At soul level. But at another time, with your own group of set of people, you can incarnate, and you can definitely balance a different kind of karma, where her mother also says that, okay, I will incarnate with you later on to balance that karma. You know, that is
Okay, you still have to so at soul level, when you realize that this were the karma and you were not able to do it, but can you not like in financial terms, can you not like write it off? Like you still have to
because
do
he
the
created
balancing?
that karma, na, he can choose. He could have chosen not to kill, not to murder anyone. He could have come out of that worthlessness, but he chose out of anger, out of self-loathing experience. He chose. It was his free will, because that was not planned. He chose to kill that lady out of anger, and then out of guilt, he took his own life as well. Okay.
Okay, so he had to. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Nirja ji. Thank you, Rani.
No, but nicely done, Madhuji. Very nicely done. I guess some of the questions have, you get answers. It's a very profound concept, like you said, but a little hard to understand. I was thinking of, even though that free will is there and you have a soul's journey, the couple of souls here, the mother, Penelope, the other person, but because of this man's, because that was not a pre-planned thing, the murder, he did it out of rage, how that caused ripple effects into Penelope's thing. So this fear in her subconscious and all, those were caused because of this man's actions, and that did not. And so you have kind of think parallel processing. You have this soul plan that was kind of the blueprint, and then this free will action of whatever happened, and that caused the.
Because she had already planned, when the spirit guide and Penelope was talking, they were talking and they were deciding how the healing would be happening. So at spirit level, that healing would be happening at the deeper subconscious level.
Yeah. It's a, to, like somebody said, it's hard to kind of put it, and it makes sense, and then there's parts of it where we are like, why did it happen and how does this thing happen? But nicely done. I mean, we have to kind of really think about it and go deep.
Lot of things that a soul also chooses to become handicapped or a broken limb or something. They will choose to get out of that guilt, because in the past lifetime they must have done something, broken some other people's limbs or something they have done. So now in this lifetime, this is one thing, or maybe hand or limbs or something would be broken, so that they understand the pain, the guilt, or the shame also get associated with it. Because some people who are physically handicapped and they have a life disability basically during that lifetime, so they go through lot many feelings, emotions, that they don't look good, or they are not, their life is worthless. Many things are there which they have to come out, and that is why the soul chooses that kind of disability.
Yeah, if you think about it in our mythology stories too, right? When we think of in the Ramayana story and in Mahabharata, there's like something happened in the past life, and that's why this thing has happened, and this whole thing birth, the whole thing of why Bhishma was there, and this whole thing, if you can think of it, you can put kind of things together like that. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Very nice.
Thank you, Nirja ji. Thank you so much. Yeah, Sanjay ji.
Yeah, Madhuji. So
Okay.
a few things to just cover up the previous question also, like why he couldn't came into life again with Penelope again.
Mm-hmm.
So from Robert Schwartz as well as the other books also I read through another interviews even. The one thing here is in the free will cases, like somebody either kill someone or take own life, actually suicide. In such cases, there is a healing place, a healing period also where the soul will go and take rest. Basically, it's a cooling period. We can say karma balancing, where the souls, whatever is the energy connected with souls, has to release at that point of time, and there will be cooling period. That period is not comparable to Earth period. So for us, it may be like 100 years. For that particular time frame, where it's like no time concept. Basically, it could be like 1,000 years even, where they heal that particular process in earthly term. So that could be one of the reason where they will not come. And second thing is Penelope herself doesn't want that in her place, that she doesn't want to get through that emotion again. So that's the other thing. And then I wanted to answer one more thing there actually. Just
It
what
was
was the second?
it was basically the like when Penelope says that, I won't be able to heal myself, or I would be in that state. So that soul chooses not to incarnate at that time, and he chose not to progress. That soul chooses not to progress with his soul partners, or I would say it's the soul mates, the soul group, because he chose, okay, I can incarnate. So at that soul level, there is like not that feeling of that there's no competition.
Right.
There's no
Correct.
competition, and that soul can choose, okay, I can take a later birth, maybe I can take
Right.
another lifetime where I will incarnate. But the other souls that were there with whom he has to balance karma, like mother, she chose, okay, I will also come with you because we have time, we can do that, no problem. So
Right, that reminded me the second line. Actually, I was
yeah.
coming to that second part. So in this book also we'll see this chapter in coming chapters actually, that when the free will thing happens, when you are not going on the path you're supposed to go and you're not reaching there, or somewhere your or others free will come into interact here.
Mhm.
In those cases, the birth planning will go through the revision actually. So in your dream state
But
or
plan
in
will go
your
through what?
disabled state, it will go through the replanning basically.
Replanning. Okay.
Yeah, so if you are
That's right.
disabled or you are in a deep state of like trauma, then while sleeping, your soul will again connect to your soul group and your guides, and you sit again together, go through the chart. Now, this is like a diamond box, yes and no, and now you came to the second box. Now, you did not meet yes, you are no. So no will fall to somewhere else. Then you choose a parallel second path, and from there you go on again. So this will be there in upcoming chapter. We'll hear it again. But
That's
there is a process where free will comes into picture,
Mm-hmm.
then the replanning will happen again. Because of free will, it has not taken the path it's supposed to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second place, what now? So if this, then this, else this, like that. So it's like a full-fledged blueprint basically, where you have this decision boxes, and then you have the outcome, and from outcome, what is the next step,
It's
kind
kind
of
of
thing.
like
And if,
free will.
yeah,
Free will,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So if you break any of this if else part where you're supposed to go through, then the second planning will start, and it does goes through your soul as well as your soul group and your guides all together will sit again and do this. So it can be during a trauma state, it can be disability state, or it will be a dream state where you go and do this exercise and then choose the path and you go through that path.
Yeah.
There again, there are chances where some souls will not able to bear that, they will lessen the plan, or they will depart from that particular state and then start again.
Wow.
So this will come again in this book. We'll see this.
Wonderful. That's awesome to know, because you have read the book already. So, and that's why you know. But we will definitely get back there, and we will definitely go forward with the coming pages. So
Very
now,
profound. Yeah, it's very profound.
alright.
This one, Madhuji, and then I heard other two, like 2, 3 other books. There
Yeah.
also I have listened the same thing basically.
Yeah.
That when you take the free will path, then you go through the replanning, and then you adjust the participant who will come, how they will come. You change the sequence, you change the profession, you change your body fitness also accordingly if you go through the free will.
Yep. That's what, and it's really really profound, like how each and every soul plans their pre-birth planning session, and how the spirit guide helps, and what all can we choose, what all things we can omit, and then we can try and learn in this experience and try and learn in another experience. But if this is your last lifetime, basically, so this is like fear of ages what we have. So we have to come out of our fears. We have to look fear in the eye, and we have to. So there was one question by Sheelam ji. Here she asks that there is something where she is like, how to know what the fear is to face it? There must be something that you are controlling. What are you controlling? Is there something in your life that you are controlling? Is there any anger that comes out? Because why that anger is coming out? Because you are controlling something. Why are you controlling? Because of some kind of fear. So if that fear is very prominent in your life and you have anger issues or something, then definitely, or some kind of issue where you find that yourself challenged. So that is where that fear resides, and you have to face that fear. You have to accept. You have to also understand that, okay, I don't want to give into that fear. I want to see fear into, okay, what will happen if I face that fear? Let me suppose two people are fighting. For example, two people are fighting. Every time something happens, your body starts showing you those signs. And when you understand that your body is showing you signs, you understand there is something going to happen. So another time, your maybe body starts vibrating, or something happens, your body or hands starts shaking. Why that is happening? Because your body already intuitively knows that something like some kind of fighting arguments are going to happen. And that is where your body starts getting that fear, and your body shows you that those signs. So that is where you understand that you are resisting that, and you are basically like you are fearful, and that is why. So there was one example I want to mention it. Uh, During the year 1999, 2000, there was a earthquake that happened in India, and because my hometown is Jabalpur, so I was there. And there was a cricket match that happened that day, and in the night everyone was sleeping. So by 4:30, 5 o'clock, there was a earthquake that happened. And because I was sleeping down on the floor with just a um, plain bed sheet, nothing else, because it was so hot in India, very warm during May time. And 22nd May, that earthquake came. I still remember that day. It took me a lot of time to get out of that trauma. So whenever somebody was going to say something, or I knew that something is going to happen, my body would start shaking, basically, like as if my hands would be very like as if my hands would be very how to say, tight, and it would be like take any form, like I couldn't straighten up my fingers also. And my mind, as if I used to feel, because during that earthquake time, I was sleeping down, and when the earthquake came, everything started shaking. I was the only one who got up, and everyone was sleeping. And I told everyone to get up, but no one was getting up. The cooler was stuck in like between the doorway and the back door. Sorry, the front door was jammed because the base of the house moved, and the whole house basically was shaken up. So only the back door would be opened. So from back side we came out, all of us. But all those things I saw, and whenever anything shaked, my body would shake. I would not sleep for days and days, years, months. Even when I got married, I came here. During night time or in the morning, my hand would freeze and I would be very tight, and something would happen. I don't know. It took me ages to get out of that. Basically, that trauma was there. So my body would know if somebody is going to argue with me, somebody is going to fight with me, my body will show those signs. It was meditation, through meditation, that helped me a lot. And whenever there is something that is going to come, some kind of change, that thing comes out as if there's a trigger, So it's very difficult, but it's not like I would say it was not easy for me, but this is my personal experience. So, but thank you for listening to me, masters. So don't resist, heal yourself at that soul level, heal yourself at that subconscious, deeper level where you need that healing. You have to understand that this hall has been a part. You were given those challenges to progress as soul. So that is what we have to understand, masters. Thank you so much. Let's go into meditation. It's already so much time today. So 30 minutes of meditation, masters. Please do sit into meditation. Cross your feet and legs like this. Clasp your hands and fingers and close your eyes. Let me start the music. So my dear masters, take your position. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring your attention towards your body. As you progress, let us first relax our body. Whatever we have in our minds, thoughts, any kind of challenging emotion, fearful emotions, just release that as you breathe out and relax. Close your eyes, sit cross-legged, sit straight with your back straight, neck and head straight. Try to relax your head space, your brain, your neck, your facial expressions. As you relax your body, your head, your neck, you are breathing in and breathing out. Try to relax your shoulders, your hands. Feel the vibrations of each and every incoming breath. Try to relax and straighten up your spine, but don't sit tight, just sit relaxed. Relax your shoulders. Let go of any tightness that you find yourself, your body is tightening up. Wherever you feel that, let it go. Let yourself feel relaxed. As you breathe in, masters, let us relax our heart and lungs as you breathe in. With each and every breath, bring your attention. As you breathe in, help your lungs to expand. As you breathe in, masters, now bring your attention onto your stomach and the lower abdomen region, your reproductive region. Every breath is healing, recharging, and rejuvenating. As you progress inwards into your own self, you are healing yourself and you're healing your innermost, deepest emotions with each and every breath. You feel more and more relaxed. As you breathe out, you are releasing anything that is hurting you, that is traumatic or unhealed. Let it out through your breath and heal yourself. As you breathe out and relax, as you progress further, try to expand each and every part of your stomach with every incoming breath. And as you breathe in, feel the expansion happening inside each and every cell. Relax yourself one by one. Breathe your abdomen, your stomach, your reproductive region, your large intestine. Now, let us relax the lower half part of the body. Relax your hips, your thighs, your knees, calf muscles, ankles, heels, and toes. Let each incoming breath rejuvenate your muscular base, your skeletal base, your bone marrows, your nerves and veins and arteries. Let each incoming breath rejuvenate and recharge your body from head to toe. Now, as you are progressing further into meditation, let us now ground our energies into Mother Earth. As you breathe in, feel the breath energy moving from your nostril towards your crown chakra, into your brainstem, coming down into your heart and lungs, your spine, and now it goes down towards your feet. Feel the vibrations of every breath, relaxing you, rejuvenating you. And as you go deep down into your feet, feel roots going deep into Mother Earth, your own roots. As you breathe in, Masters, now forget about your bodies. Let go of any body attachment, any body's consciousness. Only remember that you are breathing, breathing in and breathing out. No mantra, no chanting. Breathe in and breathe out, Master. Every breath is bringing you more and more energy, more power to your being. As you breathe in, go deeper and deeper and let go of any resistance. Whatever is happening, let it happen. Whatever you are observing, just observe. No judgments, no criticism, and no competition. Just be with your breath. As you breathe in, Masters, be aware how each breath enters your body and how each breath is going out. Be slowly, but all have to come into your body's consciousness. In this lifetime, you've chosen to incarnate as souls, powerful souls with lot of human experiences, chosen to incarnate as human beings in this lifetime. There are many different purposes for which you are here. So as you breathe in and breathe out, first and foremost, accept yourself. Accept whoever is around you. And any challenge that poses fear to you. Remember that you can come out of those fears because that is the challenge. You have to let that fear know that you are greater than that fear, not lesser. And you can come out. My dear masters, now very slowly, let us all come back into our body's consciousness. Very slowly start feeling your body from head to toe. Now, let us thank Mother Earth for her kind, loving, harmonious energies that stabilized us, grounded us. Very slowly, let us all straighten up our body, your feet, your hands, move your fingers. Try to straighten up your spine, your neck, and your head. Whenever you feel comfortable, masters, very slowly unclasp your hands and fingers, and for 5 seconds, keep the hands, keep the palm of your hands on your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And very slowly, remove your hands and fingers from your eyes. Open your eyes with a beautiful smile. Thank you so much, masters. Thank you, everyone. So whenever you feel comfortable, whenever you are okay, you can come out. And if you still want to sit in meditation, you can. So let us take our experiences tomorrow. Anything that you want to share. I would like to end the session here, masters. Have a wonderful day. If you have any questions or anything, we can talk about them tomorrow. And or if you wish, you can always type your questions or anything you want to know in the group as well. Thank you so much, masters. Thank you. Have a good night and have a wonderful day from any other part of the world you have joined in where you have your day going on. So have a wonderful day. For people here from US, have a good night. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ashaji. Thank you, Raniji.